So I was recently asked to be on Colin Murray's show, he's from Rise, on BBC Radio 5 Live, featuring alongside Adam Richman from Man vs Food and Harry Kersh from Food Insider. Here's how things went down. I'm going to pause this every so often to sort of give my thoughts on how this actually went, but I hope you enjoy this.
American chocolate off. So listen, let's bring in our expert witness to the programme, host of the YouTube channel Food Review UK, and done dozens of videos about junk food and snacks, including the ranking of UK chocolate bars and comparison between UK and US snacks. MJ's with us today. Hey, MJ.
Hello, good evening.
Now listen, we're quite tight for time, so I'm going to get straight down to this with you, which is quite simple. If this was a World Cup, as I was saying earlier, if there's a World Cup of chocolate, who reaches the final, right? Who's in the final, MJ?
Out of every country in the world?
Yeah, who's the two countries in the final?
I think UK would maybe be in there. I think they're definitely in the conversation. I think the other team would be like a European country. I think it could be somewhere like Belgium. Netherlands have some really good stuff with like Tony's Chocolonely recently.
Could England beat, say, the Swiss on penalties in the semi-final? I mean, it's not, or would it just follow the same pattern as English football? You know, would the Milky Bar miss the penalty? Because that's extremely likely that might the topic will get trolled on Twitter. You know, so that's the problem we have here.
So I just want to explain this little bit here, like the little pause I had on the first question. I was basically prepared for this and told that it was like a UK versus US chocolate debate. So then when the very first question I was asked was which two countries in the world would be in the final, I was like, I mean, not UK or US. So it threw me a little bit. But yeah, and then it was marginally frustrating to then be asked a question and then not being given the opportunity to answer it, because I did have some inflections on that. But yes, anyway, let's continue this.
But you would say that UK chocolate, if not the best, is in your top two?
It's in the top several, I would say, yeah.
Top several, there you go. Right. Let's get your questions, MJ, and see what happens. Harry, you're arguing for the motion. So what is your one question that you'd like to ask our expert witness, MJ, that you think might win this debate for you?
That's a tricky one. There's a lot of pressure. It's really could still go either way. AJ, I guess for you, my question would be, unless Fry's had used the press to create the chocolate bar as we know it today, how do you think it would have played out in the chocolate world, and how big a contribution do you rank that to chocolate as we know it?
Oh yeah, I think that is absolutely fundamental to the world of chocolate. Like, it was, I mean, if you look at Cadbury as such an institution to it, is so well known, so well regarded, although they are a little bit on the downhill due to interference from another country, arguably. But still, the impact that they've had on chocolate from doing that is just massive, and they're one of the biggest names globally.
The idea that in all of the decades that followed that, Harry, that somebody else wouldn't have done it is very bizarre indeed. There's a great, Tim mentioned the musician and comedian. He wrote a great song for his wife, which it was written for his partner, which was about basically this idea that there's someone for you in the world and you might meet them. And he wrote a song for her based on what would be the chances that you're the one for me in the world over everyone else, and we're from the same town. If I hadn't have met you, I would have met somebody else. It's very, very funny. Kind of reminds me of this point that Harry's making now. Adam, what's your question for MJ? And let's see what he has to say that you think might win this debate for you.
What's my question for the English candy expert who's rated English candy? What's next, Colin? We're going to have Goebbels judging at Nuremberg? This is madness, bro. Come on, dude. This is worse judging than Mark Clattenburg. All right, here's my question. What's wrong with you, man? No, here's my question.
How long you got?
I ask you honestly, as a food person, a food traveler, can you honestly look at my little Zoom screen here and see this apoplectic version of Fred Flintstone in a jacket, and say that a food traveler would seek out the United Kingdom for chocolate, would make sure above all foods to try while in England. Chocolate, not tea, not high tea, not whatever. That you're saying that the association with the world, and you're telling me that when people think of chocolate in the world, I've just Googled what countries, and myriad people, not some guy with a candy thing, not dissing you, I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel at this point. But Brussels, Oaxaca, Ecuador are all coming up on this.
What's the question?
As a food traveler, I ask you honestly, can you truly say the UK is a destination, a food destination that people seek out for chocolate the way they seek out croissant and cheese in France? Go.
MJ.
I can say that. Adam, I think I can make you happy, because I would say that American chocolate, and particularly like American flavors, are probably more exciting than the UK flavors that we have. Like, we have basically only just discovered orange in the UK, apparently, because all of the chocolate bars are orange flavor at the moment, and salted caramel is still going strong.
What have you made the Terry's chocolate orange now? What are you talking about now? Right, time is up.
So the questions, yeah, very interesting. Harry's was quite difficult to answer, really. Like, it was almost like a thesis or a university sort of proposition. But I sort of tried to do my best to sort of say how big of a name Cadbury is and how important their sort of history is. Adams took a very long time to actually ask the question. It was like a minute and a half, and then I was given 20 seconds to answer. So yeah, fine. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, here's the rest of it.
Time is up. It's time to make a decision, and I made it quite a while ago. So here's the thing, and I probably just going to turn my Twitter feed off for a while. Here's the thing: if the motion was, this house believes that the UK makes the best chocolate bars in the world, I would have ruled for it. I haven't really heard any argument for better chocolate bars than the UK, and I think that Adam would agree. When it comes to over-the-counter, newsagent, go and grab myself something out with a cup of tea, the UK leads the world. The Dairy Milk, the Snickers, the Galaxy, the Crunchy, the Twix, the Lion Bar. It's the chocolate bar, and we even turn our bigger chocolate, like Terry's Chocolate Orange, into smaller chocolate bars because we're addicted to them. We do chocolate bars better than anywhere else in the world. But for a couple of reasons, that if Harry didn't make the price argument enough for me, you should have played the class card a little bit, because I think if you don't take into account price, Adam's right. As long as there's a Swiss person alive in the world, it's outrageous to just go, UK chocolate's the best in the world, because it's so interconnected and interlaced to all of these European countries and South American countries and Central American countries that it's impossible, I think, with a clear heart, for me to rule in favour of the motion that UK chocolate is the best in the world. Plus, Harry, where was your poem? What?
No. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Colin. I think it was slightly against me in terms of the motion. I do think that, given Adam's reputation, this would have been a giant killing. This would have been knocking out a Premier League team in the first round of the Cup. So I can't complain. I hold my hands up. I'm beaten. Well played, Adam. And thank you so much for having me on.
It was so good to have you on, Harry. It was brilliant to have you on. And listen, the thing is, my favourite chocolate in the world, if I do my list now, 8 out of the top 10 will be UK chocolate. Because I grew up with it, right? And I get that. And I think we do chocolate bars better than else. But when you're talking about the UK has its place in the upper echelons of the greatest chocolate made in the world, but there's no way I can with a clear heart say above Belgium, above Switzerland, clearly. And Adam made some brilliant arguments, great one-liners and a poem. So I'm going to rule, as I say, against the motion that British chocolate is the best of the world, which is going to annoy 98% of everybody listening. But that's what this house believes is the best argument wins. And that's what's happened tonight. Thank you very much, MJ. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Adam.
Harry, I'm a big fan too. You're an absolute gentleman. You're a great presenter. I love your show, and nothing is more appealing than a smart person. And let's break bread and have a chocolate bar when I'm next over, bro.
What a way to end it. What a way.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio.
So let me just give a little bit more background about this segment. I think it was due to be about an hour long, and I was due to come on for the last 20 minutes. It ended up being slightly delayed. It was about 5 minutes late. So the guys were on for probably about half an hour, 40 minutes before I came on. And then I was due to come on for the last 20 minutes. I ended up coming on for sort of less than 8. I don't know, man. I'm not sure that I really sort of portrayed myself in the best way. I'm a little bit disappointed with sort of how I came across, I guess. I think the questions that I was asked were quite tricky. Like, there was times where I was asked questions and then not allowed to answer them, and then, as you saw in the end bit there, I didn't even get to say goodbye, which is a bit of a shame. They just sort of whisked past me and started congratulating each other a bit. But that's all good, you know. I was the smallest name in the room, so that's fine. But yeah, a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I was called the wrong name. That was a bit embarrassing, but nah, it was good. It was a good opportunity. Definitely thankful that I had it. But yeah, I think that old sort of. I guess what I take away from this is, like, it doesn't really matter if you're asked to do these TV or radio type things. Like, you're not in control of how you're going to be sort of shown. Or that I guess you're not usually in control of how you're going to come across. Like, if I knew the questions beforehand, was able to prepare and give slightly better answers, then maybe it would have been a bit better. What I tried to do in the end was basically just sort of give more interesting answers than the questions I was asked. Don't think the questions I was asked were that interesting, whereas I tried to speak a little bit more generally about the UK chocolate industry in general at the moment, which is, you know, I get so many comments from you guys about frustration with lack of innovation, like everything's orange, everything's salted caramel, that I really wanted to get that across. And I wanted to give a shout out to a few people like Tony's Chocolonely and stuff, who are doing cool stuff in the chocolate industry worldwide in general. Yeah, but it was a cool experience. Yeah, just a bit gutting I didn't get to speak a little bit more. But hey, you know, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, or other slogans and phrases. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What did you think, to be fair? Do you think I came across like an absolute melt? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.